Welcome back to Making Me Watch Movies. It's Friday, July 12th, and Longlegs comes out today.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
See
Longlegs,
it? We
directed
all saw
by... Who is it again? Directed by Jake
Osgood Perkins, the son
Osgood.
of Anthony Perkins. Fun fact: the guy
Yes,
who
he
plays
Oh, of Psycho?
Norman Bates.
Norman
Psycho,
Bates.
Yeah. I just found that out. I think today that he's the son of.
I just
Message.
found that out just now when you said that.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
And then I've
Yeah.
seen his picture and I'm like, that makes sense. I see it.
Osgood Perkins, dude.
So the
Sounds like
dude-
it sounds like it should look like a penguin.
Dude knows horror.
He's
Osgood
made another
Cobblepot.
pretty good movie called The Black Coat's Daughter that I enjoyed. That was a fun one. It wasn't
I
like
haven't
the best,
seen
but
that.
it was definitely a cool cult movie.
I want to see it now. I saw
Yeah.
one of his others called something like The Pretty Thing That Lives Here or something.
I didn't see that.
That
Yeah, I've
was.
heard of it.
I saw it years ago. I don't remember it very well. I remember it being pretty good, but I think it was like I wasn't into the ending. But other than that, I remember it being like a well-crafted horror film.
Yeah.
Right on.
Maybe people could say that about Longlegs. I don't know. We'll see. How do you guys feel?
Why don't you say your haiku about Longlegs, Jacob? I didn't mean to be so aggressive about that.
I think Jake froze.
All right, I'll say mine.
Say yours.
Say yours.
What say you?
Did it freeze? Am I frozen?
Yeah,
You are slowly coming back.
you're back.
You're
baby.
back.
I'm back. Yeah.
Haiku us up, boy.
I
me a
froze
clue.
my hike.
Your haiku was so good it froze the internet, dude.
Damn, dude.
Oh,
The Wi-Fi
yeah,
couldn't
man.
take the beauty.
All right, hit me with it.
He
damn.
definitely froze again. Anthony, just start your haiku. Just start your haiku.
All right. Here's my haiku for Longlegs. Children's birthdays near. Cage haunts devilish cheer. Longlegs webs of fear. Didn't have
All
to
right.
rhyme, but it does. All right, all right. I know you like the rhyme. The
Webs
rhymes.
of fear.
The
I like
rhymes
that.
For sure.
All right. I didn't write a haiku, but if I did, it probably would have been just as good. But I like that one.
You don't like Longlegs webs of fear?
No, that's great. It was a great one. It was awesome.
All right,
Jake,
I'm
did you hear
back.
it?
Sorry, I did not hear any
All right,
fucking.
well, you're gonna have to
haikus.
listen to this episode.
Yeah, you don't get to
Yeah.
hear his haiku,
Mine
but
cut out
you get to hear
completely, did
yours.
it not?
Yeah, I didn't hear shit about you said, but you're
yeah,
back.
Go for it.
Let's do
All right,
it.
I'm back. Sorry about that. I guess weird internet.
Jake's haiku,
All right.
2022, Longlegs, Oswald Cobblepot.
And here we go. Pure dread, discomfort. This is what horror should be. Satanic surprise.
Hail Satan.
All right. Hell Satan.
Hail Satan.
Hail
What
Satan.
was your podcast? Or not podcast? Haiku.
You want me to do it again?
Say it. Let's do it again. It's
No,
okay.
I'll
It's
do it
like-
again.
It's only like 15 seconds. People will deal with it.
All right, fine.
Children's birthdays near. Cage haunts, devilish cheer. Longlegs webs of fear.
Don't act like you're not impressed.
Long
Are you
list
not
of fear.
entertained?
That's a weird one.
What do you mean
Visually,
it's
it's
a weird one?
cool.
Yeah, because he's not.
Made it
yeah,
right.
it makes me think about spiders, which it's not like there was anything to do with spiders, but it makes me
No,
think of spiders.
no.
But it was fun. It was fun.
No,
haiku.
it's a play on words, dude. It's called Longlegs, and I threw in a spider reference. I'm playing with words. It's word play.
Come on, did you ever play with
All
words,
right.
Jake?
I play with words.
I
sometimes.
know there's no spiders in it.
It just makes me think of spiders, and that freaks me
I
out.
mean,
This
his
movie
name's
was scary.
Longlegs. That's Daddy Longlegs. Of course, it makes you think of spiders. That makes you. I think it makes you think of all creepy things. I think that's why he named it this. Now, this
It is
is
a pretty
this is a
creepy.
brand new bad guy, right? It's a brand new scary dude.
Yeah, this is new scary.
This is not a
He's a scary
remake
guy.
of anything. This is not a
Original.
Candyman ripoff.
No, all fresh.
This is an Osgood Perkins special.
Yo, dude, Perks made a fucking new like classic bad guy.
The bad guy's dead, apparently.
Yeah, but there's gonna be prequels and stoquels and triquels, and you're gonna take a Nyquil and you're gonna forget about that. And he's gonna be back.
Listen,
That'd be
I
fun for a prequel.
am kind of mixed on this movie in that I love what it's about, which is a FBI profiler slash field agent who has a touch of being able to sense things and
touch
of
maybe
autism.
read the situation. You know what I mean? Like she's a little clairvoyant in a way.
It's kind of like
she's
Mia
not.
Goth in a way.
Yeah.
A little,
And
Gotta
that's
touch
it. That's
autism.
fun. And that's fun. Like that's
Pop.
cool. That's actually something you've never really seen before in a lot of ways, which is cool.
So like one of the first things we see is she goes up to a row of houses and maybe I'm going too far in, but she with her partner, and they're looking for something we don't know, and she's just like, it's that,
Looking for
like,
someone.
and he's like, how do you know?
Yeah.
And she's just like, I fucking know. Do we know why she knows?
It's the devil's work.
Well, she just, I guess,
It's because she was touched.
well, she has a natural ability, I guess, and they use it to their advantage by putting her on a case which they've not been able to solve for 30 years. You know, it's kind of
Like
makes
one of
sense.
those troll people in Border.
Yeah, a little bit.
Has
What
that
I liked
ability.
about this movie was the dread the atmosphere of dread that it had, and I thought the framing was cool in that it used a lot of wide lenses and up close spots so that like the surroundings would be scary to you. Like, why the
Well,
fuck is that door frame there? Is
in the
someone gonna
very-
come into that
it-
door frame and all that
It
kind of
opens
shit?
up in 4-3 in that scene. Does
Yeah.
that whole first scene play out in 4-3, or does it immediately?
I think it does. I think it
But-
does
yeah,
during the
it-
credits. It
the
expands.
Yeah,
first
it
scene is
goes-
crazy.
Into credit because
Yeah.
it's basically all of her flashbacks. We learn this later that these are flashbacks are in the 4-3.
Yeah.
Super cool.
The first scene is cool.
I just saw Maxine. I went into this. Jesus, excuse me. I went into this movie and I saw 4-3, and I was like, damn, another fucking like period looking movie. And then I don't know if it was immediate, but like very quickly it slowly widened out, and I was like, all right, cool, like cool.
Yeah, it was
like,
during the credits. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
and that
But the
first scene, creepy, fucking
Creepy as
creepy.
fuck.
Yeah, super
They
creepy.
fucking
He's like,
nailed it.
"Cuckoo!"
That whole like drive up, like that it reminded me of like it early on, like him like
Sure.
kind of luring the kid over and just
But what's
and
cool
them
is that
keeping him out of frame. And the
once you
marketing
know-
of never showing him was fucking genius, by the way.
Marketing.
Well, they showed him in the very first scene.
No,
He
I'm
showed
saying
in that scene.
in the marketing for the movie, like we never
Oh,
knew what
oh,
he
yeah,
looked
yeah,
like
yeah.
going into
So,
the
yeah.
movie.
I
which was
didn't know
fucking
shit
great.
shit about this movie. I didn't know shit about fuck, as Ruthie says in Ozark.
Interesting.
And
I didn't. I think I certainly didn't know it was him in the first scene. I just saw the creepy old lady. I kind of thought it was an old lady, and I was like, "What the fuck is it?" And then we don't see him again. And then it was like a little bit of the way through of the first. Is this? Did it have chapters in it? Yeah, the first like chapter,
Yeah,
or
three
first
chapters.
part. I was like, I think you sent a picture of him, and you were like, he is not Nick, and then it all clicked to me. I was like, was that fucking that guy? And then I heard the voice. The voice got me on the phone, I think. I was like, oh fuck, that was Nick Cage, and I wish I, immediately. But immediately, I did not know. I did not realize who that was.
Yeah, they do
Yeah.
because they just keep him just out of his face is like cut off like at his like nose or mouth. Like you can see his like he's wearing
I
weird
think
makeup,
we
but you don't see the
flashed to
full
his face, like right at the end.
as he like kind of dip he like leans into like talk to the girl and then it cuts away. So you see like a flash of like just for a second you see his face.
Even
that
with
shit
the
was
makeup on, though, it doesn't
eerie.
look like Nick Cage at all. Like, it's only from the
Oh,
profile
yeah.
that you can kind of tell. But dead on, I don't see it at all, which I think is great.
Especially those earlier ones look more like him when it showed him more whatever would have been the main time of that movie would have been the 90s. He looked all like old and haggard.
Yeah.
They would randomly like show him when he was younger. He looked a little bit more, still
little more
fucking
cagey.
nuts, but more along the lines of a little more normal Cage face, just
Yeah.
with the weird
What a
makeup.
fucking
on still.
creep. So yeah, we see him like we get our first glimpse of Longlegs in the first 5 minutes of it with do we know that that's her?
We don't know that's her at the time. We don't know. We don't realize that's a
It cuts
flashback.
to her straight from being a kid though to being an adult, doesn't it?
No, it goes. That's the credits scene, and then you see.
I feel
her.
like
yeah.
it did not.
So it's
I
like,
feel like
you
it did
don't-
not surprise me.
I don't think it was
that-
surprising.
Although no, because when she was like, it was at her birthday. I think I did remember being like, oh fuck, that was her in the beginning.
Yeah, you
So-
figured out in that scene where the detective tells her that her mother called about like an intruder at some
Yeah.
point, and then once she goes to the house, you can see this like the staircase is the same staircase.
I'm
even
gonna
though
be
it's, like,
honest.
full of
I did not
trash.
like this movie when I watched it.
No?
The whole time I was like, as I was watching, I certainly didn't like it. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I didn't know how that. I was like, they better sum this shit up like in a decent way, and they
You
did.
scared? Spooked? Spooky? Scared, dude?
I liked. I think like what. Whoa! I think I just went. I liked what Schwartz was saying is in that. What'd you say? You like the dread of it. You like the.
Yeah, it was like
tension. It was very
yeah.
Silence of the Lambs. Not
Yeah.
only like in how in the storyline was almost exactly like Silence of the Lambs in that it's like an unexperienced or kind of new-ish rookie FBI female with her partner, and they're trying to figure shit out, and she's got a fucking handle on it. And then the old partner doesn't like is impressed by whatever. Kind of it very much starts Silence of the Lambs, but it had that feel too. It definitely had that feel of Silence of the Lambs. I don't know who I would compare Nick Cage to. Is he Hannibal, or is he more of like
He's a little more Buffalo Bill.
Buffalo Billy character?
He's the serial killer on the hunt, kind of like the weird, effeminate, strange shit that he does.
Yeah,
but really, it's not. He's not like either one. They're all pretty unique.
He was the one. Should we start? Should we like creep?
Yeah, we can.
You're right. I see what you're saying, though. I see what you're saying. Like, kind of, he wasn't exactly the one doing it, but he was like the key player.
I don't know. Was he? He was doing it. I don't know.
You what?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. What do you mean? The fact is, the feeling, like it was very Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, so
very very dreadful. Like the heavy dread of even like Hereditary vibe of like something bad is gonna happen any moment. And just
I wasn't spooked by it, but I did like that. I like that. But I think now I'm thinking about it, and now I'm thinking, well, I like that actually. But I think while I was watching it, I didn't. I was just kind of like weirded out by it. And then when we saw like Nick Cage when he like comes in, I was just kind of like, I don't know, maybe it was a little over the top. I don't know, which it was. But like, it really, if I think back on it, it's kind of like on the most perfect ways for Nick Cage to do. So anyway, I didn't like it when I watched it. Upon reflection, as most movies go for like a lot of times, I think I fucking love this movie.
What I did like about it is that it starts out rooted in a lot of the core, like you said, like tropes of movies we've seen before in this situation of like she's the new person who's got something good that they're using her for, and she got to try to catch this uncatchable person, and she got to solve the mystery. But when it starts unfolding as to the quote unquote, I mean, we're already getting into it. So the powers that she has and how she's connected to this guy, that's when it got really, really, that's to me when it got interesting. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's pretty cool. I haven't seen that aspect in any serial killer movie before, to where the killer and our main character, who happens to be the good guy who's trying to stop the killer, have such a strong connection in that way. Like, I guess Hannibal Lecter and Clarice Starling had a good connection, but it was a total different thing. It was almost like she respected him, and he was kind of respected the fact that she's probably smarter than most people he's dealt with, but he also was probably wants to fuck her a little bit too. But he also, like, whatever that is, you know what I mean? This is not that. This is like totally different than that, which is good, which is really good.
Yeah, and I almost think that they didn't have enough of that, because that'd be my only complaint. I really like this movie. Yeah. They got to that point, and it was like very quickly wrapped up and over by the time like that whole connection and power shit was like established.
Sure, but it was slowly shown through the whole movie. Like every time I think where she would look behind her and hear a creak, or anytime there would be a wide shot and show darkness in her room, is like the darkness has always been with her. Like the entity has always been there.
Horned, like
that shit,
figure.
And even shadows of behind her. I think that was all just to show that like she is part of this. Like she's a good guy living in the same mind as the bad guy. She's like a daywalker. Yeah, basically, but a good person.
She got like she got 1 foot on each side.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
Oh, that makes sense. I did like
which
that.
I didn't.
Why? Which just she was because of the tism.
Yeah, I guess that
the whole
happened.
Whatever that ball was controlling her. The ball and the doll had some sort of weird control over them, though, because it was
so. All right, so let's get into
fucking satanic black magic. All that shit was wild. That's the thing.
That was cool.
I wish that was like almost explained more, because they kind of like breezed through it, and then it was over, and it was like, damn, that was like the ending.
Feel like there's got to be more. There's got to be more movies. There's gonna be more Longlegs movies.
I would love it. Like a early, like how like the origins of Longlegs would be fucking great, because like him getting into this, because it didn't really explain how it got into the Satanism. It didn't really get into it that much. It just kind of like.
But I mean,
showed it and was done.
Longlegs probably 1 billion years old. He probably knew Satan, dude.
Yeah, like it's funny.
He was Satan's roommate.
I feel like a common complaint we get to is the movies are too long. This one wasn't long enough. I think this could have been like benefit from like another like 15 minutes or so, 10, 20,
Yeah.
something like that. You know, like if this was closer to, because it was 1 hour 40, I think.
It did kind
If
of.
this was like almost, if this was closer to 2, I think it could have filled in some gaps.
What would
And
you want to see?
I think a little bit more of that, the development of the Satan shit at the end, like the magic and all that, because that was kind of like just quickly explained. Like that
Everything
whole
was
thing
really, like, with the mom.
with the mom shit was like very much
Dolls.
like she just did a voiceover and that was it. I wish they like they would have flushed that out a little bit more.
The whole thing about him being downstairs the whole time, that blew my fucking mind.
Yeah, that was
the
weird.
scariest part of the whole movie to me. Is
Wait,
the
what?
fact that, well, should we just say it now? Yeah, all right, whatever.
Let's go.
He was in the mom's basement the whole time. He's the man downstairs. That's why he kept saying that. Everybody thought he was talking about Lucifer. He was in her fucking basement the whole time. The whole goddamn time. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Making the dolls down there, putting the fucking orbs in them. That shit's terrifying.
You realize that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was the part early on where she visits her
didn't know
mom,
that
and
he
there's
was
that
there.
door that was locked, and then
Yep.
she didn't remember clearly why it was there because she's got the whole fucking memory thing. And then
Yeah.
later she woke up down there and was at the
Yeah.
house. Yeah. So yeah,
And
like
then you
that.
realize that he made a doll for her
So
and has
hold
been
on,
controlling her
we're
this whole time.
we gotta talk about these dolls. Like, what are we gotta go? We
All
got
right.
So
So
who?
let's-
Wait,
maybe
see
we
the
should
go
first
through the
doll.
movie.
Who's got the first doll?
Maybe we should go through the movie first.
Let's
Go
go
through the
through
movie.
it.
Right? All right, who's doing
Who's
this?
got the best
You going
recollection?
through?
I got it. I saw it twice. I just
All
saw it
right,
a couple
go for
There
hours
you go,
ago.
baby. Start it.
So we
I'll
started out
help.
with, we already got to that part where like the girl was in her upstairs room, looks out the window, sees a car pull up. She walks down with the camera. Very ominous, creepy scene. You hear the cuckoo off in the distance. She, turns around, walks over. The little shots, like her looking around, that are like all like the sharp like stab noises when she like looks in either direction. Then suddenly, boom, creepy bitch looking thing, looking like a creepy woman in front of her, but it turns out to be Nicolas Cage. And essentially, that's just I think at that point he's just like, it's your birthday, little girl, and you've come, and I have a gift for you, something along those lines.
Yeah.
And then we get the opening credits.
And he's
And then-
like full Cage, like.
Oh, yeah. Cage is
Dude,
over the top,
insane.
effeminate.
I hated
all
some
fully
of the
white
stuff he said in
outfit.
this movie, to be honest. But
Like what?
I look
He's
past it.
fucking
Like
madman.
when he was in the car and he was screaming to himself, like I hated that. It was a little cliche to me.
I kind of
It
love
was a
that
little
part
cliche to me.
because it just showed his fucking hysteria.
That's when it
Really?
sounded like Nicolas Cage was playing in the
Yeah,
movie, though. It was that moment.
Definitely.
That he
was
had
so
to have his
cagey.
Cage moment. It was great.
It was so cagey. Anyway, keep going. Keep going.
And then from that we meet our main character. Harkin is her name, Lee Harkin.
Clarice Stark.
She's on an assignment that her and some other dude are kind of like canvassing a neighborhood looking for some. We don't know that it's a different serial killer yet, but we think kind of psychologically that she's looking for this guy.
Mhm.
But she looks at a house. This part's kind of a little weird that because she just kind of looks at a house. She's very awkward.
Real quick though,
You got a finger up? Go
the
ahead.
way they shot this was pretty great. The wide shot, her in the car, and the camera moves with her head looking towards the other house, and it follows her, and then it cuts back to the shot of the window that she describes, and she goes, yeah. She gets out of the car, looks out, she goes, this one with the whatever type of window. He's in there, and he goes, how the fuck do you know? She's like, I don't know, call it in. And he's like, well, I'm not going to call it in for a hunch, but I'll go check it out. And then boom, one gets shot in the fucking face. That was
Blasted.
pretty great turn of events. That was
Yeah,
pretty sick.
pretty quickly.
That was
Yeah,
pretty cool. I liked how that
early-
went down.
Yeah, like both those first
Yeah.
two scenes were like, holy shit. Like it was
Yeah.
fucking. I really loved how this movie started. Super eerie, super just thriller-esque. And then then she goes into that house, and then this is
See
a really
the
good
shell over.
tension. Yeah,
Yeah.
good tense moment of all the plastic wrap all
Plastic
over the
wrap,
walls,
yeah.
fans blowing everywhere. And then she goes up the stairs. There's a dude just on a bed, and he kind of
Just waiting for her. Yeah.
And then what? I think from there she goes into this weird like testing thing
Yeah.
of like,
Th-
what are these images come to mind? And then like she has to guess.
This is
like a series of numbers.
this is
or
where the movie
something.
gets really interesting because you're like, what the fuck is she doing?
forgot
Why is she
about
doing this?
that.
This is the weirdest
So
thing
like
ever.
psychic
And
people
you're
are a common thing in this little because that's what that was.
It must
right?
help. And their FBI, like I think maybe the FBI must have some sort of like clairvoyancy tests or some. I don't know. It seems like
well, they asked
that
her.
would be
They
a
said they
thing.
asked her 20 questions, and she guessed it. They asked her
Half of
20
them.
times what are two numbers they're thinking of between 1 and 100, a specific number, and she got half of them right. And I think that's like Why would that's insane to get half of them right. Like
Yeah,
that's crazy.
He said being half psychic's better than being not psychic.
Exactly.
So like
exactly.
that's so being psychic's like a thing in this universe. Is it? I mean, or do you think this is modern? Do you think this is just how FBI works today?
I think that I don't think it's supposed to be that like she's a superhero.
This is also in the 90s, by the way. I mean, I don't know if that really matters what the question you're asking, but
I don't think that she's supposed to be like a superhero.
Doing that in the 90s?
I think that the FBI uses anything that they can to help them and do things, and if they think that she can somehow help them, they'll ask her. You know what I mean? That's just how it is.
Now, this is a little off there and a little out there, but wasn't there an episode of South Park where he was acting, or was it Butters? They hire Butters because they think Butters is clairvoyant, or is it Cartman? They think Cartman's clairvoyant, and it's like the police department or detective agency like hires one of them to like solve crimes.
And then
Is that where Butters keeps shooting people in the dick?
Real. Butters is doing it for real, and then Cartman starts being like, "I'm gonna start doing it too." He's like, "I have a vision now," and then everyone starts believing in him.
So that must have been like a thing that some FBI or some agencies did. Maybe they did this in the 90s a little bit. Maybe they relied more a little bit on that before DNA evidence came into play. I don't know. Maybe. Anything helps. Maybe.
Remember, there was no DNA evidence. They said that in this movie.
Maybe they rely on clairvoyancy before they had the DNA evidence.
Okay, so here's a paper by William J. Smitty, The Use of Psychics in Homicide and Missing Persons Investigations. This article discusses the uses and successes of psychic detectives in high-profile homicide and missing persons investigation. A review of relevant literature compares and blah blah blah. So it's a real thing. It has stories from 1983 about a murder of Polly Klaas. Psychic came in with a discussion, and they fucking found her. I don't know. These are all like success stories, and these are in this 89, 1979. Okay.
Yeah, it seems like especially that era before like technology. It's like, what do we got?
Like right after acid,
like they're gonna go with anything they can use.
Computers or cell phones back then. Why not use some bitch that could possibly tell the future? Who, you know what?
You believe that shit though? You think she could?
Nah, I don't know. I mean, she seemed like she could in the movie. I don't believe in Satan, but he fucking won, like kind of in the movie. Not really, but
fair enough.
It's in this movie, and I fucking liked it. So because of this test, because of all this shit, she got reassigned to these other people, or this other job, and we meet her new partner, Carter. He's this older black gentleman, and this other lady, and they tell her about this other chain of murders that always involves a family, always involves like a father who commits like a murder-suicide situation, and they always find these letters, and it's just randomly they've had 10 families. Do they know
it's always the father? They just know that it's they know.
I guess it's usually the father, and
with
it's always,
a shotgun,
because there's never
it's shotgun and knives. Knives is also
knife
the
and shotgun.
one.
There's never any forced entry. It's always like a murder suicide, but it's always like crazy. Stabbed or shotgun.
And like race, it doesn't matter. Like the family size is always kind of different. It's the one common thing.
Don't they think it's a kid at one point?
She
says like
suggest it because it could be because
fuck.
Yeah, there's no forced entry. It's seemingly that like whoever committed these crimes knew the family or was familiar with them, because there wasn't any evidence saying there was a struggle or I guess maybe the struggle, but like the forced entry was definitely one of them.
Do you think that her
saying she theorized was it a kid?
Yeah. Do you think that maybe that theory was a little foreshadowing of what it actually was?
I don't know, because I feel like it was her mom that they were letting in, at least later on.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And then it was it was the doll.
Exactly it was
the doll.
Nun.
That's like the innocent nun was what they let in, but it was the doll that made them go crazy.
That's what, it was like, but the doll was a spitting image of the kid.
Doll was, and it was a gift from the church,
the kid,
quote unquote. Yeah. So
which church?
Got him.
She wasn't lying.
Pretty sinister idea. Huh?
This mom was on. Well, let's get there.
Pretty sinister idea of old Longlegs to do this. Pretty sinister.
It's wild.
Hail Satan.
But we don't know this. We don't know this yet in the film where we're at. We only know that there's these families that killed. There's been 10 families over the course of 30 years, and they always revolve around the daughter's birthday, who's turning 9 on the 14th of that month, and it's always
Is it always the
within
14th?
6 days. Her birthday's always on the 14th, and the killing always takes place within 6 days, either before or after, to cause the triangles that he's trying to represent to connect with Satan somehow. But it's always that. It's always those numbers.
Have you ever tried to connect with Satan?
Very
You always use
numerology
triangles.
shit. Yeah, you got to use triangles. You got to use 6s. You got to use 9s, and I don't know what 14 exactly has to do with it, but
and knives and shotguns.
Knives and shotguns, baby.
Hail Satan.
And that's how they do it.
So what I did, like, again, another thing that happens right here is when it starts showing her like process of going through things. I did like the shots of her like doing things alone. Like it almost painted all the blackness around her too, the darkness of the room she was in and everything like that. It's like I feel like this girl was just always in her own little shared like space with this demon or this entity. Like she always kind of attached to this thing. And like in thinking that, does that also mean that like he wanted her to catch him in a way? Like he almost like set her up to catch him?
I was questioning that because I was wondering like why then? Like, and they never really go, at least like
why
as
then?
far as
Like
I
at
could
that
tell.
moment, you mean?
Yeah, like why did
at
he
the bus
decide?
station?
No, like why?
Where was he when they come?
Why? Because he essentially makes connection with her. Like
Yeah.
he goes to her house and drops off.
Sends her the
note.
letter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is a terrifying scene. Which
Right.
I want to talk about what
Yeah.
happens in that scene. Why does he
Which is a great
disappear?
scene.
Let's go
Yeah,
into
and
that
like,
scene. She goes
but,
home. It's
like-
alone. It's the middle of the night. A little smoke in the air.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
this
hold
is
on,
after
what were you
she's
gonna
doing. No, I was just say that's after she's doing all like the investigation, putting some pieces together.
Yeah.
She's looking at some clues, and
Oh, one thing we
yeah,
missed
like
though.
why does he?
Hold
choose
on,
to contact
it
her
counts for
at
the end.
Finally,
Her boss, her detective boss, makes her go visit his family. And at the family, and when she visits the family, the daughter invites her to her birthday party.
Oh yeah.
We have to talk about that because that's a big
Right.
plot point.
that's a key setup moment. Yeah,
That
after-
happens.
Yeah, after she does a lot of the digging, a lot of investigating, she kind of has like a meeting with her boss. He drinks, she doesn't.
He's like, yeah, I'm drunk. You got to drive me home.
yeah, and then you got to come in and meet my wife and kid.
Yeah.
And she's super like,
Do I have to?
This is where the tism
Yeah.
comes in because she like doesn't even know how to talk to these people.
Yeah.
She just sits there quietly.
That scene.
and then,
You want to
I mean,
see my room?
yeah.
It was audible laughter in the
Yeah.
and then when it's cutting to her sitting quietly, she's just staring forward. That was good.
And
She
that's
definitely-
another good
she's an
like
awkward
comment
bitch.
about this. There was some good comic relief within
Yeah.
the super tense movie.
There was.
There was like little random moments of levity, which like were pretty well executed. Like that was just a quick little chuckle, but it kind of like broke that like awkwardness.
This is kind of a side note, but I heard a interview with Oswald, and he was saying that his brother scored the movie under a pseudonym, and he was talking about how his brother is hilarious and has a great comedic timing, and how he like you can tell at certain points you're laughing, and it's a lot of times it's because of the score, the music. I thought that was interesting.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah,
Well,
because if you
has a lot to do with it.
someone made the great, I think it was Jordan Peele said the only difference between comedy and horror is music. And I feel like that's a really true statement because like horror and comedy framing is like you're doing wacky things and making crazy things in frame no matter what you're doing. So if you score it a certain way, it could go either way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Have you seen
Which is
that
awesome.
recut of the Mrs. Doubtfire trailer and they make
Uh-huh.
it horror?
Well,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
good example.
It's like
Or The
terrifying.
Shining, where they make it seem the Shining one, where they make it seem like a family film where 3 family members go on a vacation is amazing. It's like me and Jack down by the schoolyard. It's like them like hanging out in the maze, like running around, and his dad like smiling in the car and shit. It's
Oh, yeah.
fucking great. Yeah.
Music's everything. Sounds everything.
Yeah.
This one had great sound. We didn't talk about this, but Maxine had great sound. Oh, like fucking great.
Yeah,
sound.
Maxine does this one too. The
one has
music,
really good sound
the
design.
score in this movie is good too. I like the
Scary.
score. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah.
And little things,
Scored
even
by,
like especially the scene we're
Oswald?
about to
Brother.
scene we're
Alright,
about
yeah,
to
go
go
for it.
into is like after she does that little awkward meetup with the Carter's family. She does go home. She calls her mom. She starts
Mhm.
looking at her shit. Then you start hearing the little creaky things in the house.
Mhm.
Hear the pounding on the door.
Mhm.
Just like that. That whole scene was pretty well put together.
Which wait,
with the
time out
sound and
again.
the
By
visual.
the way,
She
this
hears
bitch
the
doesn't have
creak.
any fucking. She doesn't have any blinds on her fucking windows. Her windows are literally like 6 feet tall and all wide open. I'm like,
She's
yo, you live in the middle of the woods? That's crazy.
She's in the middle of the woods. What
Yeah,
she's
you never know
blind
what could be
for?
watching you
see
from
her
those
the road.
woods. No, well, definitely Longlegs.
When
Yeah.
you live
Definitely
out in the
long
woods like
legs.
that, you don't want that. It's not
It was weird
it's
goat
a
friend.
wood.
What? You want Longlegs to be able to see where you are in the house, so he knows when you go outside, you can sneak in.
Dude, come on in, dude. He's gonna come in. Long leg gonna come in no matter what, like he does. So we hear the pounding on the door. She hears a creak. She gets up, pounding on the door. She
Yeah.
gets her gun. She hangs up with her mom. She's like, I got to go. Goes to the door. Does she open the door right away? I think so. She fucking busts out there.
No,
No, she
Knocks
doesn't
out
open
the
it right
window.
away.
She sees someone in the.
She puts the lock
driveway.
on the door, the little chain, which I was like, what the fuck's that
Yeah,
gonna do?
like that.
Then
I
she
was gonna
walks
keep that
back,
along-
and then
longy.
she looks out the window and sees the shape of
Yeah.
whoever
Yeah,
in the
yeah, that
outside.
fucking
And
goat
then,
thing.
like a G, fucking ran outside.
Ran.
I was like, damn, this goes
I
for
thought
real.
that was rad.
Yeah.
That was rad.
Yeah,
She
me
has
too.
no fear.
No.
Yeah, and
But
then when
then-
she looks back, she sees creepy ass long legs scurrying
Yeah,
through the
and then he
house.
Inside the
disappears.
house.
What's up with him
Yeah.
disappearing?
Inside the house.
But he disappears. He like disappears into thin air.
Does he?
Does he?
Yes,
does
in
it
that
look like
shot,
he
he
does?
disappears into thin air. He does.
Oh,
He does.
I
He's
thought
in
he
the
just kinda,
house.
like,
He just
scurried
walks
away.
into the back of the
No.
house.
Yeah, you see him.
But
Yeah,
he
you
like
see him in the house, but-
disappears. It's crazy. It's
Weird.
creepy.
Oh, look at that.
Now,
again.
Yeah, you
how
should.
much
Play it back.
supernatural is going on in this
I know.
movie?
Hidden?
Question.
A
Not
lot.
And I
hidden,
didn't
but,
think
a
it was
lot.
a
not
fucking
much
supernatural
at
movie
all.
till it was like the last like 20, 30 minutes.
But
I
that's
think
not
a
even
lot of it is. You just
supernatural.
find
There was
out in the
nothing
end that a lot of it was.
Oh, I guess the
There's
dolls.
like some black magic
thing,
shit going. Yeah, the fucking
The dolls were doing everything. It was
Yeah.
the orbs and the dolls that were making everybody go crazy.
But yeah, who would have thought this was supernatural until we got to that? Like I did not
The
expect supernatural.
connection between her and him is
wackiness.
amazing. I love that. The fact that
Yeah.
she's connected to him and the mom did what she did. I mean, that was cool. That was super cool.
So
Again,
what-
some
you
shit
want-
we don't figure out till it's like pretty much over.
Yeah, should we explain
What?
that all the way?
Well, yeah, let's
Yeah, go for it.
should we explain that or get there?
Let's get there.
Well, what else happens here that's kind of like cool before that then? Is anything like
After this, they basically get a call. She finds that letter. The letter helps her decode all the shit.
yeah, that teaches her how to read his language, right?
Yeah, yeah. And then so she starts decoding shit, and then she gets a call to go to another crime scene where they find another fucking family that was killed, but they were like sitting there for months, and then
Oh,
that was
yeah.
that like gross maggot scene, and then that's when she like looks at the note, decodes it real quick, and he's just like, "What the fuck what are you doing? How do you know this?" She's like, "I looked long
Don't worry
enough,"
about it.
and then
Yeah.
from there, she's like, and I decoded all the other letters. They talk about X marks the spot at like the camera barn or some shit. And then that's when they go to the barn, and that's when they find the doll. And
Yeah.
then that kind of starts.
That's a great scene too. Where they
starts piecing
hold
it
on
together.
though. The scene with the doll
That
is
shit was
awesome.
creepy.
They go
Yeah.
into the crazy barn. They go into the attic, and then the fucking
Into
the
the
cross
attic.
is
Beautiful.
bolted into the
Beautiful
ground,
set,
and he fucking
yeah.
and he fucking jams it open, and the doll's in there. That was crazy.
windows with the
that was
with
awesome.
the light shooting in was amazing. All that was amazing. Yeah, and
The
then you go to
overhead
attic,
shot of them doing it.
pull the cross up.
And then this was
it's
probably
down there.
the only like main legit jump scare was like the doll's eyes open.
Yeah,
That was like, this movie did a good job without having to have jump scares. It was just a fucking creepy atmosphere, but that one was there.
And then the
was
next
kinda
scene.
I mean, right there,
is-
there's a
I think was kind
there's-
of hilarious with they had the doll in the morgue like laid up like a dead body,
Mhm.
and
Oh,
they were
yeah,
like
yeah.
like they pulled the brain out, like they autopsied it, like it was just kind of, it was enhanced the creepiness of how real, because the doll looks real to a certain extent, you know.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
the
From
features
behind
on
you'd
it
think
are
it's real.
too real, yeah, creepy enough, you know. That was a
Like
cool
this one
scene.
was like beat up because it was like buried in shit, but it was still like the face looked legit, looked very well made. The fucking autopsy guy had like a boner over the craftsmanship.
Yeah,
which
he
was kinda
loved
funny.
it.
Oh
Like
yeah, and the
somebody-
autopsy
this
guy
is an
also
art.
says
Whoever did this was
Yeah.
an artist.
the autopsy guy also says that he thought his wolf talking to him through it too, which is kind of
Right, that
creepy.
was something.
Yeah.
It's like, I thought I was like whispering my ex-wife.
Yeah, he was like,
name or
"What's
something
my
like that.
ex-wife's
Yeah.
voice to me?"
He's
Yeah,
like,
I
"But
thought
that-
I heard
but
it."
that
I was
couldn't
like,
be
"Oh
real."
shit!"
And then they pull the brain out. They
Yeah.
see that the
Fucking
brain
ball,
is
dude.
just he said it's hollow. He said there's nothing in there. Don't, like, it's nothing of consequence. He basically said.
Right.
And they were like, "Nah, we should probably check it out."
I mean, they're cops, dude. It's what they do. They're nosy.
They
And
cut
then
it
this
open. They
led
don't
to
learn
them
anything.
Visiting the girl. Yeah, they don't learn anything from the doll, but this led to them going to the girl that the doll was eventually made after. And this girl was the only survivor from the Longlegs thing, like where her family got murdered, but she wasn't there, so she was able to get away. But we also learned that she was comatose for years and that she only woke up the day before, which was the day they
The doll
opened
was
the
dug
box.
up. Yep.
So there was definitely a link between the girl and the doll somehow. And
That was cool.
that was pretty wild.
It's like they woke her up, which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
what it's implying
exactly. It
for
seemed
sure.
like that's what it was.
Yeah.
And then
That's a big hint as to what's happening in the whole movie right there.
right, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was something I didn't really like think about.
Yeah,
till
that
the
was
second
cool
time,
as
yeah,
fuck.
for
This
sure.
is like you said, Anthony. In the theater, I wasn't too like impressed all the time, but when I went back and thought about it, when I started watching some other people's opinions on it, I was like, yeah, actually, you know what? Yeah, like that was done really well. And all this and all that, because I was a hard like against this movie when I first saw it. I hated it. I was like, I didn't like that at all. And I thought Nick Cage was really over the top in some of the scenes. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. It didn't exactly give you the best ending of what it is, but it was all fine. But once I went back and started thinking, I was like, no, that was good. Like that was really good. That was a good movie. Like really cool movie.
It was done. It was done well for what it was. It was like, have you heard like any kind of interviews with old Oswald?
Osgood.
Osgood. He just talks about how he liked, like he liked fucking Silence of the Lambs, and he liked, he liked these movies
and glam rock.
Yeah, he wanted to.
Out of Lou Reed.
T-Rex, the fucking T-Rex quote in the beginning.
Oh, that's right.
And he also said that the T-Rex quote. What did he say?
Yeah,
the movie opens up with a T-Rex quote from the band T-Rex. It's something about like
sweet, oh my girl, something
like the Hydra is around my girl. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, but that's a British glam rock band. He said that the look of Nicolas Cage is supposed to be like a caked up glam rocker.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Great. And he invented. What I can't get over is that how many times do we get a new bad guy like this? You know, like we got Saw, we got the clown, we got like that kind of clown figure.
Jigsaw.
He wasn't even in. Yeah, we got Jigsaw, even though that was just kind of a thing he used. Like this is I think this is Michael Myers caliber new baddie. I think we got a new baddie on our hands.
That's some high praise.
I can't wait for the Longleg franchise can't wait to see what the Longleg franchise has to hold. That's what I'm thinking.
Jake, you agree this is gonna be a franchise?
I didn't even think about it becoming a franchise, but I think it has that potential. Like I would love an Origins. I would love an earlier on.
Give it all to us. Make
Long
the second
legs,
one dumb as fuck.
Like him getting into it. The pre-murders, the first murder, whatever.
I mean,
that shit. I would love that.
They could go back and tell the story of all the murders if they really wanted to. I think there was 10 of them, right? Or 30 of them, whatever it was.
And it could
10 of them over 30 years. They could go back and do all of them.
With the prosthetics, it could be Nick Cage. They can make a young, fucked up person.
What's actually cool too is that with the prosthetics, it doesn't even have to be Nick Cage. Like they can actually say that like Longlegs can inhabit anybody, and they just make themselves look like that. You know what I mean? That's kind of cool.
Yeah, because there was one other thing with like the mother, because he was saying that. And I was paying closer attention to like the rambling he was saying, what he was saying before he
that's the shit I hated
in that interrogation room.
Yeah,
I guess I'm kind of jumping ahead here, but I'll just say this. He said something like she was the seventh she.
Yeah.
So it's like there was other ones doing this before her.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't always just her.
But
she wasn't like, because they were doing it before she got involved. And I think so, and or at least more like little acolyte people, a little more helpers. But he was dropping the girl off when for Lee, he wasn't having someone else do that. He was actually the one dropping it off. So that's kind of interesting.
Well, I think he used it as like he got caught, so he couldn't do it. He realized that no one's going to take this doll from this fucking weird person, so he had to find a way to make it a thing, and that was the best way is to like have her do it. That's why he gave her the opportunity to stare the girl.
That's what it was. Do you think he went there with that intention? Let's lay it down. Let's lay it down exactly.
No, I think he went there.
It was in the car. You could see it in the car, and he's like, "I have a gift for you."
Yeah.
So he went. He went with the intention of giving her a doll and making all that shit happen to her
and making her.
But they didn't have
the family. They didn't. That was the one thing that kind of threw me off. It was just her and the mom, and maybe he didn't realize that whole thing. But yeah,
So
but then he
he-
broke in later in the night, and basically then they came to that agreement.
Oh, he broke in
And,
later. That was the whole thing. I thought the
Yeah,
whole
that was
break in
later
was
in the
like
night.
when he came in the first time. I didn't realize he broke in later.
No, because there was a part earlier they
sense.
like flashed to her at night, like holding the shotgun. She had that like quilted sweater on, and it was like nighttime, and there's someone pulled up, and she was like getting ready for like him to come in. And then later it showed him like her meeting him and her being like, "Who are you?" and blah blah blah. And he's like,
Who are you?
"I'm the man downstairs." Blah blah blah.
The man downstairs,
And
literally.
then he came back later, and he's like, "We could have just had something. We could have been nice earlier, but now I have to do this." That whole thing. So it was like, yeah, it was later. It was later that night,
It
or
was
that it was
later
that night.
after all
That.
that.
Yeah, it was after all that. Like later that night, I think he came.
So let's
back.
lay it out.
Or maybe the next.
He
night.
goes over. He says, "Listen, I'm not going to do the doll thing with you. All right. What we need is a little understanding here. Look at me. People ain't letting me into their birthday parties. Look at me.
more
Look
or
at me.
less, yeah.
I need a nun.
Because she's like, I'll do whatever you want to help you.
yeah. And so she's doing.
Just
she's
don't
doing
kill my daughter.
good-
I'll do
she
whatever
does.
you want.
She's doing the Lord's work. She's doing whatever she can to save her daughter. She's
The
not
Dark Lord.
doing bad
Yeah.
things. She's doing terrible things.
She's doing it for her daughter. She's literally doing it to keep
She's
her
not
daughter
doing
alive.
it for bad reasons. She's doing terrible things. So
Yeah.
the agreement is you're gonna does she takes the dolls. So you're gonna take these dolls that I make
In your basement.
in your basement.
Yeah.
Number one, I gotta live in your basement, rent free or no deal. Rent
Yeah.
free or no deal. Or I kill your family right now. Or I just live in your basement. Rule 2.
And I need 2 solid meals a day.
And I need 2 solid meals a day. PB&Js are fine. What do you think he eats?
Rats.
Goats,
What does Longlegs Uber eats?
rat goat sandwiches on rye.
This
Really?
was in the 90s. There was no Uber Eats.
I'm just saying, like, what would he if he was alive today? Which he
She must have been
probably is.
Pastrami sandwiches.
She must have been tossing down like
You
PB
think he's
and
Italian?
J's, maybe
Yes,
some
who is
bologna
it?
sandwiches. Seems like a bologna guy. I could see that.
I don't know. You
I
think he's
hated that
you think
whole
he's a
daddy
mayo?
shit.
You think he's mayo or Cool Whip or Miracle
I
Whip?
think he's. Oh, that's a good question. I think
know
there's
what
a
I
slice
mean?
of cheese on there for sure. But
Slice of Gouda.
I don't think I think it's whatever they got. You're more asking what is she? Is she a Miracle Whip or is she a mayo girl?
You don't think
I'm
he has a
see-
preference?
actually-
How long has he been down there? I mean, 20 fucking
Miracle
years.
Whip.
50 years, 100 years.
Now that I
How
think
old
about
is-
it-
how old is Clarice?
Miracle Whip.
Yeah. I
Well,
think
it's
Miracle Whip,
it was I think it was like almost 20 years. I think because it was like 75 and I think it was like 94 or something like that.
Yeah,
so it was
she's
like
probably
about
like 29 or 30.
Yeah. All right. So
Yeah,
the
it was-
argue
I
or
think it was supposed to
the
be
agreement
20
is
years later.
I live
19
in your
years later,
basement. Don't ask me what I'm doing, but I'll tell you anyway. I'm making voodoo
I'm making dolls.
I'm making real
It's
nice,
fucking scary.
good-looking voodoo dolls. They look like the kid they're going to. That's the gift. Tell them it's from the church. You bring it to their doorstep. You put it inside, and then you got to stay there and watch what happens. And she's
Make
like,
sure it
and then
goes
you
down.
won't kill my daughter. And he's like, Daddy. No, I won't. And she was like, cool.
No.
And so that's what
That's
happened.
pretty
Man,
much
I
it.
didn't realize he lived in the
That's pretty
basement.
much it.
So she would bring these dolls in. The dolls,
Yeah.
the kid would open up the dolls, become weirdly attached. Within the next like I don't know, hour or so, the dad would
It's
become
pretty quick. Yeah.
fully enraged by everything that's happening. Eventually, he's gonna go get a gun or a knife and kill his whole family, and then kill. And that is how people. That's what was happening. That's how people. They let this nice old lady in that was saying she's from the church. They didn't ask which church. That's why there's no forced entry. That's why it was a murder suicide. Voodoo dolls. Hail
Voodoo
Satan.
dolls. Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Anthony,
basically that's what happened.
I know Schwartz has seen this movie. Have you seen Cure? Japanese film Cure?
Here, no.
Cure. It's very good.
know an
It has a
audio
very
girl named
similar
No,
ending.
Cure.
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 Oh, Cure.
Cure. Sorry. Say it with a QU accent.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah.
my Detroit's coming out.
Nah.
But no, it's this Japanese film that has a really weird, similar vibe where it's like what's the equivalent to a Japanese FBI agent searching for these like weird murders, and they're this kind of the similar situation where it's like people like are murdering their loved ones, and they're like they just are like I don't remember doing it, but I remember
Similar situation.
I did it.
Was it?
But what's
Satan
cool about
and-
the movie?
And which was it? Witchcraft and Satan.
It was a weird what's the not telepathy, what's the thing you trick people, they do it and get out, blanking on the word.
American president
Is oh, why am I? It's the TikTok thing. Like, look at my thing.
Oh,
you were getting
therapy.
sleepy.
Hypnosis.
You were getting hypnosis. Thank you. I don't know if I can remember that word. It was hypnosis. It was basically a hypnosis thing where like this guy had like a power to like say the right words to you to make you kill someone you love.
Okay.
And it was like it came down to a hypnosis thing, and it was
They
this
always
old
wake
like
up
ancient record that
quacking
they
like
found.
a duck and they piss their pants.
Yeah.
And they also murdered somebody.
But it's a dope fucking movie.
What's cool in the movie is every
It had
time
a
someone
similarity.
every time it would happen to someone, like a cloud would come over them. Like they'd be out somewhere, and all of a sudden there'd be like a cloud, and then like there's one of the shots is a cop who goes to a news state, like a station with there's like papers and shit, like to newspapers and stuff, and he goes and he's standing there, gets off his bike, he stops, and a cloud comes over, and then he walks in, gets paper, and comes out, shoots a guy. And then like acts like it didn't happen, and the cloud goes away, and he drives away, and then he gets arrested. And he's like, "What do you mean? Well, I didn't do anything." He's like, "So they just took him over in that second, and he shot the guy." It's crazy. It's pretty cool. It's pretty fun.
Cure?
Cure, yeah.
I
So
don't remember
it's-
the clouds.
Yeah.
like that.
Cool.
It happened like 3 times.
Oh, I just
Except
remember it was
instead
dope
of a
because
cloud,
almost
it's a voodoo doll.
all the scenes were like shot in like one wide.
Yeah,
It was
death
like
scenes,
it was very
yeah.
like play like.
Yeah.
It was cool how they did it. And
It's
Yeah,
a really, really fucking good movie. It's
but
a
it was
really
it was
good
just
film.
similar of like the hypnosis had a very similar vibe of like making the people kill the loved ones kind of thing. It was and like the detective looking for a serial killer that was like mysterious similarities. It was that meets Silence of the Lambs meets a little bit of
Sick.
Seven.
Dude.
Sprinkle.
Yeah, a little bit of Seven.
So wrap this one up then, as far as storyline goes. Put a little bow on it.
So somewhere before or right after we learn that Longlegs kills himself.
Well, yes,
Am I
yeah.
wrong?
Pretty much.
Pretty
Like,
boring way of
I
saying
mean-
it. It's a pretty great scene, to be honest.
so
Let's get
we
into
get
it.
to a point
Let's get
in
into
the
it.
film where after they visit the other girl, the Carter guy, he kind of like it's like why do you know all this stuff you know? Like he's getting a little suspicious of why Harkin knows.
Wait,
all this
which
shit
guy?
about
Her
Long-
boss?
Yeah,
her
her-
superior.
Yeah, Carter. Yeah, Carter
Yeah,
seems to be
Carter.
a little.
Yeah.
So he looked into it, and then he realized that Harkin's mother made a police report about an intruder on the day before Harkin's birthday when she was 9 years old.
Yep. And she found the Polaroid.
And she then yeah.
Well,
and that goes to
he was
her
like, "You got to
visiting,
go talk to your mom about this."
Yeah.
That's when he goes talk.
Yeah.
figure out
and
what
she
happened.
goes-
Who is this? Like
Does he?
Yeah.
What is this?
So
What
she
does her mom
goes-
say?
at that point, she's like doesn't really want to talk about it.
Yeah,
And,
she
like,
says,
kinda
"Forget
like-
about it."
It and implies like everything I do, I do it for you. Like
Yeah.
even
Everything I do.
you've ever left,
Do
all of
it
your
for
things are
you.
still here.
Yeah.
Like I do everything for you. Like kind of like
Which is a
really
little
leaning into
foreshadow
that.
of,
Yeah.
like,
And that's when you start realizing. That's when you start realizing that that first scene
What
we
you
saw, that
mean,
creepy
mommy?
first scene with the little girl,
Was her.
that was her
Yeah.
because she goes upstairs and then we realize that's her same room.
Yep.
And then she starts going through the box of photographs, and in the box of photographs we see that picture from the first scene of him leaning over, and so and then quickly they put a manhunt out and they quickly find him, and seemingly
Yep.
quickly. I don't know, it might have been some time, but pretty quickly, like there he
at a
was
cigar lounge.
That bus station scene was pretty wild, actually.
chilling at the bus station, which was weird because he has a car. Like, why? It seems like he knew he was gonna get caught, which is there's a lot
Yeah.
of like mystical shit that seems like convenient almost, but like in a way, also seems like he could have been orchestrating all this. It just didn't really show
I
that
think
he was.
that human form of Longlegs is just one form of many. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
I don't think Longlegs getting caught and getting arrested is really going to stop Longlegs. I think Longlegs is a being. You know, he's
So
going to do
that
it
was
to
more
somebody
like
else.
So
an
he
incarnation
was-
of one of
Yeah.
his. It could have been okay.
Like a
interesting.
He was
puppet.
like, I'm gonna finish this last one. I'm gonna kill myself and let Longlegs move on. To
Live
the
on.
Next meat sack. Interesting.
Yeah, because there was something about like they only needed to fill in one number because originally there was like a 13 missing, and she was the 13, and now it was going to be Carter's daughter was going to be the last number that originally
yeah.
was Harkin, which they missed because of the agreement that
Yeah.
was set up with the mother that we learn about.
Now you guys talk about the
Lately
daughter.
thereafter.
The daughter getting killed. The family, her boss's family. That was wild.
Well, sure, but like let's get to the once Longlegs is captured.
Yeah.
Essentially,
interrogation.
the interrogation happens. First they show like a video of him just kind of being obsessive about Lee Harkin.
Yeah.
Singing her happy birthday because her birthday's coming up. We all know that.
For 27 minutes, he's saying happy birthday to her.
Yeah. So
I think that's what
she eventually goes down to meet her, and there's that ominous quote of like the other detective saying like, "Oh, she's right below you. He's right below your feet." And then she goes down to meet him. This was very reminiscent of the Dark Knight Joker.
Batman, 100%.
In a little bit scene
100.
where pretty fucking. I mean, but Joker made a lot more sense than Longlegs. Seemingly, Longlegs kind of went on this weird rant about.
I mean, he just wants to see the world burn too, but for Satan in hell.
For Satan, yeah, and kind of talking to him like telling Harkin that she's like special and that something about the mother without saying the mother helped her, but like, you know, you need to talk to your mother about all this because she was asking him about the accomplice, and it's like it was mostly just me and she, and it's like, who is she? And then
look at she.
He's like, she's the seventh she. That's your mother. You need to talk to about that. And then he says, "Hail Satan," and smashes his fucking face in.
Yeah, and he goes, "Hail Satan," and then he slams his face into the metal table, and then he slams his face into the metal table, and then he slams it again. Ooh, boy. Yeah. Ooh.
I was pretty surprised by that, not gonna lie. Not that it was like graphic or anything really, but it was just I didn't expect that to happen.
There he goes.
Like him just keep doing that. Yeah.
Like I'm
Longlegs is
not
dead.
sure if a person could actually do that to them, like can actually kill themselves that way.
Yeah.
Oh no, he did.
Injure themselves, but I don't know if they'd have like the force to like go back.
Cage was so method that he actually that was real. He slammed his face into the ground, and the director was like, "Don't stop rolling," and they were like, "What do we do? He's gonna kill himself," and they're like, "That's what Cage does.
He's in character.
Yeah, it's what he's the best in the world.
You know how many bees he got stung by?
Just call the medic, idiot." How many bees?
Yeah, you know, it's another bee movie, different movie, where he yells about bees. Remember that movie? He's like, "Bees."
I remember the one where he had a pig.
Bees. That was a good one. That was maybe his best one.
Slams his face into it.
Best work. Pig Cage's best work.
Speaking of like fucked up face things, the going back to Maxine, the very end when she blows her dad's head off.
Yeah, I'm sick.
Pretty good head explosion. Yeah, spoiler.
Pretty great head explosion.
Super random Maxine spoiler. Fresh, super.
Right.
In the middle
where she blows her dad's head off.
The killer spoiler. Yeah.
The antagonist of the entire franchise.
We got to write spoiler alert for Maxine too on this one.
Yeah, randomly at the end.
I'm not editing that out.
Ruin Maxine.
That's life.
So what? So that's it, right? That's what happens.
Yeah. Then they go. Well, they still realize they need to talk to the mother because there's a clear connection with the mother. And
what's awesome at this point in this movie that a lot of movies don't, or that's, you know, some movies do great, is that they kill seemingly the main antagonist, and yet something else is done. We think we've got him in jail. Oh, but there's been another murder.
Right.
Yeah, I shot him in the face. Oh, but there's been another murder. Whatever. And so the fact that we know that fucking Longlegs is dead in the movie Longlegs, but there's still Dread out there. He's dead, but there's more Dread.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue. Hit me.
About a half hour left, 20 minutes or so left at this point. You know this. But yeah, I was surprised.
This movie's so new. There was no run pee for it. I was like looking and I was like, I got to pee so bad, and it was like, this will be updated.
I was at that
on
point
12th.
too.
I was like, fuck. I don't even.
I was at that point too, and it was too good to fucking run pee.
No, I ran and pee.
I think I ran pee one time. I think I ran to pee when she was driving from the office to her mom's house the first time. So I'm like, okay, it's just going to be a scene in her in the car. That was my thought. And I think I ran and did it then, and I came back.
Shout out Run Pee. Shout out the dude that
it was hard to leave to because it was such a very tense movie. It was gripping to me, at least. You guys didn't seem like you liked it as much the first time, but I liked this.
I mean, I was never bored by it, but for sure, as I was watching it, I was thinking, I'm not sure this is my favorite movie.
Not enough Cage?
There was not a lot of Cage. I imagine Cage was not on set very long. Excuse me.
No.
It was just enough. It was just enough Cage. It was like Buffalo Bill. It was just enough Buffalo Bill. We didn't see him all the time. We just saw him every now and then. And whenever we did, it was like, fuck.
I think that's the new quote for the T-shirt. Cage just did Cage. You know, it's like Buffalo Bill just Buffalo Bill. That's a good one.
Yo, Cage. It was just there was the perfect amount of Cage, and yeah, it's better. This is a lot of things that I do though. For funny things, I was just talking to you guys. I don't think fucking a lot of things are funny when I'm watching them. It's upon review, especially with other people, and it's like, oh, what about this part? I'm just like, fuck, that shit was hilarious, actually. And like, what about this part? I'm like, oh, that was really funny too. I'm like, it sounds like you thought it was fucking funny. That happens to me all the time. So it's
you're just a hater.
I got yeah, maybe right off the bat. Right off the bat,
you're
it's
just like, you know what? This could be funny, but right now I don't think so.
No, it's not even that. It's just like while I'm watching it, specifically, when it comes to funny, it's I think you should leave. Because when I'm watching it, I'm like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. I don't think it's funny at all. And then like, maybe after a little bit, maybe another watch, or like just talking to it with Jake, it's just like, I mean, that's pretty funny. There's some really funny fucking stupid shit in there. When he can't open the door, it's like when I'm watching it, it's like
the absurdity.
It's stupid,
the absurdity is hilarious.
Yeah, there's I don't know. Maybe it's a de-evolution of some sort. Maybe it's I've run out of things to laugh at, and it's just like, all right, let's try this again. Maybe it's kind of that.
Maybe
because there's like videos on YouTube. I'll be scrolling, and I'm like, I don't want to watch this video. And then like after I'm out of videos to watch, I was like, oh well, fucking Mark Maron now.
Oh man! All right, so what do you guys give this movie as far as a rating?
Hold on, we are not even.
Why do you keep jumping to the jump, man?
We're done. You guys keep talking about fucking other things.
Done.
Nah, we're talking about point. Longlegs. Longlegs is dead, but there's still more.
Longlegs is dead. There's some weird shit going on with the mom. Clearly, like she's obviously seen this guy, but as he's getting suspicious, we don't know yet. So they go talk to mom again. Wow.
Because they need to figure out who the 13th woman is. She.
Right. 17th, the 7th she.
You think the
fourth? Also, just like what's going on with her? Maybe.
Mind blown.
They legs.
But would it be because it's the 7th she. It wouldn't be the 8th they. I guess it would be like it would be the first day, or even if it was a he, would it be the first he?
First day.
Or maybe there's more.
No, we don't know if there's been more. We don't know if there's been they or he's.
Exactly. Maybe it is the 7th. Maybe it's like the 14th day.
Let's get that fucking origin movie.
Yeah, I want to see them.
Find out more.
Pronouns, bitch.
Yeah, dude. So I guess we already went over what we know about the mother, but there was the kind of crazy scene of Harkin going inside and then hearing a gunshot and realizing like her mother like killed one of their partner or coworker or whatever, and then goes around fucking double taps her with a shotgun.
Yeah, that was wild.
And then that leads to the mother going to the backyard and then blowing the head off of the doll version of Harkin, which causes.
And you actually see the weird thing come out of their head, like the mist, the dust.
Evil, black
evil
magic
fucking
dust.
Yeah. That's when you're like, oh damn, it is magical. It is fucking supernatural.
And that makes Harkin pass out for some fucking reason. And then she wakes up in basically fucking Longlegs' lair, which is creepy.
Yeah,
which is her house, and then goes out, finds a car, which happens to be Longlegs' car. She realizes what's going on. She gets a fucking weird phone call, like a demonic sounding voice saying that's like she wakes up to the phone ringing. It's like Ruby's birthday.
Yeah.
She hangs up. She's like, "There's a weird phone call.
Who the fuck is Ruby?
I gotta go I forgot about the birthday. I told her I was gonna make it. I gotta go." So she goes to the birthday party.
Who called?
Guess who's already there?
Longlegs.
Oh, Satan, dude. Longlegs was dead, but Satan's still alive in our hearts.
Mom called?
Longlegs is Satan, man. That's just another name.
I like that idea.
That's the truth.
It's almost like
100.
Be in different forms.
Whatever, dude. Just get on.
I heard a review of this movie said that it was written and directed by Satan.
Oh shit.
Oh. I mean, it was fucking.
What do you think about that, guys? Honestly,
I definitely wasn't.
What do you think about that?
The Satan shit, and I wasn't expecting Satan to be.
Hell no! It came out of nowhere when he goes, "Hail Satan!" and then slams his face into the table. I guess
that was hilarious.
Whoa!
That was hilarious, and then
it was hilarious. I was sitting in a handicap seat, so I had to keep it down. Actually.
No, you got to get louder because so they think you're handicapped.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Can that kind of handicap sit in those seats?
You randomly
I
like
guess
you
it doesn't matter.
randomly
They're
gotta
not
do-
checking cards.
Yeah, exactly. You're fine.
And check
And
mine.
if you're not, and then if they check, you just do a little, tism move. It'll be fine.
Tiz.
Little tiz. Throw a little tiz, and then
I like
then
the
they'll be like,
movies.
oh, we'll leave him alone. We'll leave him alone. Just start naming actors rapidly.
Yeah.
Look at the time code
Brad Pitt,
quick.
blah blah blah.
I
Are we might leaning too hard into making fun of?
Can't think
Sorry,
of a
I
single
was not
actor
making
right
fun
now.
of him. Okay, well, maybe more tism than you are.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. So
Definitely.
this is where the mom. Oh, they go to the Ruby's birthday. Ruby.
Yep. And then she quickly realizes, like, oh fuck, my mom's here. Ruby's all about this doll that looks like her. Clearly the Satan doll.
I think she knows her mom's the mom at this point, because like at a certain point she tells her partner, she's like, my mom's the accomplice.
Oh yeah, she well, I mean, she figures out clearly when she fucking kills the other detective, and has
She knows when she. Oh yeah.
because she sees her kills the fucking detective when she goes to the house first. So I think they're already kind of suspecting shit.
But yeah,
And,
now she's at the birthday. Mom's already there. The fucking creepy ass doll's out. Kid Ruby's hugging.
Yep. Carter goes crazy.
Carter's all
stabs
pissed.
the wife.
He's like, "Fuck you,
Kills
bitch!"
the wife.
I thought
Raging.
his anger was pretty funny.
Yeah.
He just sounded like kind of an angry dad.
It's like, no shit, I gotta cut the fucking cake, bitch.
Yeah, that was
So
funny.
he gets Pat. He goes. I gotta go cut the cake with a big ass knife. You want to come with me? And she's like, yeah, sure. So was the mom kind of under a spell too, or was she just
Yeah,
kind of?
they
everyone
both
was
are.
under a spell.
They are on. The whole family's under a spell at this
Damn.
point.
So it's right before this is where the mom explains everything from beginning to end.
Yeah, that's pretty much when she blows up the doll's head,
Yeah.
and then
Says,
Harkin
"I had to do
passes
this for
out.
you," blah, blah, blah.
That's kind of that little like voiceover montage situation of like her explaining what happened.
Why
in a
did
quick
I think the
form.
most fucked up part
Which
is
I thought that part was that way it was a little
she has to watch.
yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
she can't just go in, drop the doll off, and bounce. Like that's kind of what I thought was happening. But no, she's like, and then I have to sit there and make sure like everything happens the way it should, and then I gotta go. She's covered in blood every
She's
time.
already
and then,
like
and then at a certain point, she just gets into. Was she always a Satanist?
no, she was like religious, and then she just kind of was a little fucked up, and then I think she just
leans
got
into
more
it toward
fucked
the
up as
end
this
there.
whole thing going. Yeah, and then she even says Hail Satan at the end, so she's
I
definitely
feel like
Satanist.
yeah, I feel like she's into it by the time we catch up to this.
I think so. But it's weird because she tells Lee to say her prayers and stuff. She's like, it'll help. And then she realizes like, oh, it doesn't actually help.
And then, well, she says,
They'll have a good
you're
laugh.
right. They don't.
We got a good laugh.
So she helps Satan kill people to save
She helps Saint kill people to save her daughter.
and
then the
Satan
daughter
kills
kills
people
everybody.
through Longlegs, who makes enchanted
weird dolls.
dolls that make
Yep.
the family crazy.
Yep.
Didn't expect some weird voodoo doll shit. Didn't expect
It was
that
fun.
about this movie.
Fun movie. Good time.
There was a few Hail Satan
When
stuff.
it wrapped up, I was happier than when I was watching it, and then like we kept saying, I think I love it now. It's like a Tool album.
So do you think? Because they left it a little weird because it like she
Let's-
couldn't like
Let's
pull
have
the
off
trigger
songs, dude. Let's talk.
to blow up the doll.
Well, they were out of bullets.
I don't know if she's out of bullets. It
Yeah,
seemed like
she's
she
out
was
of
just kind of
bullets.
like frozen up, and then she's like, "Let's go." She seemed like she was kind of like under a weird.
What are you talking
just,
about? Lay it
like,
out
She
for
seemed
me.
like she
Set the
wasn't
scene.
fully.
Very end?
It didn't seem like. I don't know. I guess she was out of bullets, but just the way
To shoot the
she
Ruby
was
doll?
acting had like a weird like trance vibe to her. Yeah, to shoot the Ruby doll. It didn't seem like.
You're saying she couldn't
I
kill
don't
it?
know.
That's what happened? I
feel
can't
like-
remember.
It kind of felt like she couldn't kill it, and then they just like left it, and then it cut back to Longlegs again for some reason, even though he was supposed to be dead. And then he said Hail Satan again, and smashed his face again.
I'm pretty sure she was out of bullets, but maybe I'm wrong.
I think there was like felt like there
feel
was a
like
little
she
bit
clicked
something
it.
more to it.
I feel like she clicked the gun.
Yeah, me too. I think she clicked it like twice.
I
So
just I don't know.
this at
I
the
think
very
if
end,
you look if you looked a little
everyone's
closer, it just
dead.
felt like she almost could have had like the
Does the
control
daughter
could have
die?
still kind of been there. Daughter doesn't die. The daughter is just there, kind of like also fucked up and also kind of in a trance.
Super fucked up. When she
And like
and
she's
so
like, let's go, like let's get out of here. But then they never show him actually leave.
they just show
kinda-
her pulling the gun
they just
up,
cut. Yeah.
clicking it, doesn't work, and then they cut.
Yeah, basically like let's go, kind of something like that.
So she turns
I leave.
around. The daughter kills her immediately, and that's how the second one starts.
Maybe.
Now the daughter's
Maybe
the
she
eighth.
kills the daughter.
Come on.
Maybe she becomes Maybe she becomes the next Longlegs. She becomes the next she.
That daughter's the
Harkins.
eighth. She. That daughter's the eighth.
think it's Harkins.
She. And then she fights BB Kiddo.
Whoa.
Boom.
Crossover.
Crossover.
Kill Bill Longlegs crossover.
What do you get? What do you think? That's it? Pretty good.
I liked it.
Yeah, it's a pretty good movie.
Ozzy Osbourne. He did it. It's a good one. I liked it. It's a
Yeah.
good one. Creeped me out. It creeped me out.
Yeah, definitely creepy. Sounds like
What do you
Schwartz
rate
has
it?
places
1
to
to
go.
10?
Where do you want to go? What are you gonna do?
Do you think?
Wait, what'd you say, Jake?
So what you think?
I don't. What? Scale 1 to 10?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go a solid 6.9.
6'9". 6'9". 6'9".
Yeah.
Wow.
I really, really like the idea a lot. I think it's a cool idea. I think that it was executed in a very particular way that was very cool, very cinematic. I enjoyed it a lot. Is it personally the way I would have done it? No, it's not really my like aesthetic per se, but I did enjoy it a lot. And then like when I think about it, I enjoy it more, and I think I need to watch it again. And I really liked it. It was good.
Cool. Yeah, I'll give it something like that.
I was gonna give it
Give it a B
like
plus.
highs. Yeah, like I'll just give it an 8. I was thinking high 7s, but I'm liking it more than I talk about. Something solid 8. Mark it 8, dude.
I'm gonna give, since we still haven't nailed down a way of a cohesive way of rating, I'm gonna give it a B plus.
Yeah. All right.
2 stars.
2 stars.
Yeah, B plus, 2 stars. That's how we do it.
All right, whatever.
Thanks for making me watch movies. We'll make you watch it again later. I don't know. We gotta figure out something to say at the end of these.
Watch it. Oh, we used to do that.
Yeah. We did, huh? Watch it. I don't know. Who cares?
Watch it. I don't know. Either way.
I thought the music just fades out and then